creek, walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons, country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town right heathen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Old Man Van Running. Here again in the Old Man Van Cave, the Old Man Van Castle. Now I know it's been a long time since Old Man Van posted a video, right? As you may or may not know, if you should know if you've been watching my videos, I had a very, very tough late spring and summer. You know, after the London Marathon, I started to have some difficulties, some physical difficulties. Turned out to be a sports hernia. Not only that, I was having a lot of construction done at my house, and then my father fell ill and finally passed away at the end of August. So a very, very difficult summer for me. I was diagnosed with a sports hernia. I had to go to 3+ months of physical therapy with no running. And it's only been 2 months since I started adding in some fast walking on the treadmill, and finally I started to run again. I've been running 3 days a week. Last week I actually got 4 days in, doing strength work twice a week. Absolutely a necessity. And I'm slowly building myself back up. I think last week I was around 17 miles total for the week with a long run of 6 miles. So I'm starting to get back. I'm taking it slow, making sure I don't have a relapse. The strength work is extremely important. I learned so much during my physical therapy that I think, I'm going to post a video of all the exercises I'm doing. That's making me a lot stronger, especially in those areas that support running, right? Strength work I was doing before, I'll be perfectly honest with you, it wasn't targeted enough towards the right muscle groups. I thought I was doing it. I wasn't doing enough. Once a week or once every couple of weeks was nowhere near enough. It's got to be at least 2 to 3 days a week. And what I learned is the muscles that really contributed to the sports hernia, my adductors, my lower abdominal area, just weren't strong enough. When I saw the sports medicine physician, he did some tests on me to see about my strength there, and it was very, very weak. So I really targeted those with the physical therapy. I learned so much. I feel so much stronger now, but I'm taking it easy, right? I'm not jumping back into 30 or 40 mile weeks. I'm taking it slow, adding just a little bit every week, maybe 10%, right? Sticking to that 10% rule. Whether or not that's truly a rule, it's what I'm doing, right? And it's working for me so far. I'm able to recover quicker, and I'm starting to feel like, I'm on the way back. Now, another thing I'm doing, and I'll go into this in a future video, I'll go into more of the detail. I'm taking creatine. I'm taking creatine every day to help with recovery, also to help with the strength work and the harder workouts to quicken the recovery process. I've been doing that for a few weeks. I do feel a lot better after I do a very heavy full body strength workout with weights, etc. I'm not as sore the next day, and especially 48 hours later, I don't have that same delayed onset muscle soreness that I typically have. Whether that's the placebo effect or the creatine, we'll find out, but it seems to be working. Another thing I'm doing religiously is cleaning up my nutrition, right? Cleaning up what I eat. I found that as I was dealing with all those issues, right? Kind of being depressed from being injured, having the, difficulty with my dad's situation, and also all the things going on with my job and with construction around my house, I wasn't eating right. I was probably eating a lot more of those things that contribute to inflammatory response right in the body, and inflammation is a bad thing. I did have my annual physical. My blood work was fine, except for my cholesterol had started to creep up, especially the bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. So I've cleaned that up. I'm not eating chips and things like that I shouldn't eat. I'm, keeping the red meat to a minimum. I still need to take in some protein. So, a lot of fish, a lot of sardines, salmon, I'm doing like lean chicken breast, right? And once in a while, some nice grass-fed red meat. So to make it very quick, my plans are to start racing maybe toward the end of January, early February. I do not plan to run a spring marathon this year. Too many marathons in too short a time. Just constantly being in marathon training really didn't give my body a chance to recover. Didn't provide that kind of off-season work where I could really focus on strength training. So this year, I'm going to be running again with the SoundRunner Racing team from Brantford, Connecticut. And I'm really looking forward to focusing on those shorter runs earlier in the season or shorter races like 5Ks, 10Ks, working up to the half marathon. The plan is staying healthy to run the Berlin Marathon next September. So that is my ultimate goal, is to run Berlin next September and have a really good race. Have a really good build-up over the next several months versus running a spring marathon, having to recover, getting back into marathon training. I want to do this slow build, keep the strength work in there, increase my speed over these shorter races, really enjoy myself this time, and then really prepare myself for a good result next September. So that is the plan. I will go into more detail in subsequent videos. I do plan to start putting some out. It's finally the holiday season. I've got 2 weeks off from work. I'm feeling a lot better, a lot more positive. I am coming off a very slight cold, so, you know, that happens, right? You're cooped up at work. You're around a lot of people in conference rooms and all that kind of stuff, but very, very mild. I do plan to get out and do maybe a 7-mile run today. It's Saturday, so I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday season. Whatever holidays you celebrate, doesn't matter. Please spend quality time with your family. It's so important. You know, this will be the first holiday season I haven't had one of my parents, and I know I'm getting up there, right? I'm 62 years old, so we all go through it, but no matter how old you are, how young you are, it's still difficult when, you know, you have to celebrate the holidays without your loved ones. So make sure you take the time to spend time with your loved ones, appreciate them, make the time. When it's gone, you can't get it back. So I really do thank everyone out there that supports this channel for your patience. You know, for folks outside who do follow the channel, but, you know, have reached out to me on Strava and other vehicles. I really do appreciate it. You know, it's been very tough, and I kind of needed to take the time to focus on myself, right? Myself, my own well-being, taking a break from YouTube really was important. Get everything in line and get ready to really give it my all this coming year. So have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever else you celebrate. Have a Happy New Year. And I do plan on posting regular videos again. So thanks a lot. And remember, lace up those shoes and let's get out on the roads.
Railroad tracks run along the creek, walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons, country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town